Okay, so this is part one to me finding out that my mother and my husband slept together. It's a pretty long story, so hopefully it's not too many parts. But so we'll start from the beginning. So one night, my he was my boyfriend at the time. He was at work and my mom and I were at home drinking, and she said that we should go out to the bars. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, Dwight can take us. So he got home and asked him if he wanted to go. And he was like, yeah, let's go. So we went to the bar. We all got, well, they got really, really drunk. I got tipsy. And so I ended up being the one driving. So we went to my cousin's house. I hadn't seen her in a while, so I wanted to catch up. When we got there, my mom was already being like overly weird with we went inside and my aunt was in bed with her boyfriend, and my mom like laid in the bed with them and was just being really weird. So I made her get out of the bed and I told her to go outside to the car. So I sent her outside to the car and me and my cousin were inside. Mind you, my boyfriend at the time, Dwight, was in the backseat of the car, knocked out. So me and my cousin end up coming outside to the car, and my mom comes to me and she's like, hey, can you take me and Dwight home? We're really, really drunk and we just want to go home. We're tired. And it was about like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, that's understandable. Okay. Like, I'll go ahead and take y'all home. Me, on the other hand, I want to stay here and catch up with my cousin. I miss her. So uh, we get in the car. I'm in the driver's seat. My cousin is in the passenger seat, and behind her is my at the time boyfriend, and behind me is my mom. And as I'm driving, I'm talking to my cousin, but I'm looking in the rearview mirror, and every time I look in the rearview mirror, I see my mom leaned over, whispering in my husband's ear, well, boyfriend at the time, ear. Um, and he's just like this, like seeming like he's out of it. And I did wonder what she was whispering, but I didn't think anything about it because she's my mom. So my cousin and I go and we drop them off. And my mom helps him get out of the car and he can barely walk. So, I'm thinking like he's going to go inside, pass out, nothing serious. My cousin and I drive off, and as we're going heading back to her house, my mom calls me and she's like, hey, Danielle, where are you at? And I was like, you know where I'm at? I'm going back to Serena's. And she was like, oh, okay. We get off the phone. So me and my cousin proceed to get to her place. And once we get to her place, my mom calls me again. And she's like, hey, when are you coming back? What are you doing? What are you doing tonight? And I was like, I told you what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing. I'll be home soon. And she was like, oh, and I was like, okay. So we get off the phone again, proceed to talk to my cousin. Then she calls me again and asks me the same thing. So then me and my cousin look at each other like, what the heck? And my mom asked me the same questions. And I told her, why do you keep asking me that? And she was like, oh, I'm ready for you to come back. I want to hang out with you. Let's have fun. So I was like, okay, I'll be there soon. So then continue talking to my cousin, and I get a text message from my at the time boyfriend.
First of all, y'all know why she keep doing that. It's because she's messing. They currently messing around. If somebody constantly doing it, they constantly trying to figure out where you at. And she's not giving her times like I'll be there in 10 minutes, 30 minutes. She's saying I'll be there soon, and that's probably got her nervous because she's trying to get some. And I want to say this too. Parents, like at a certain age, if your parent is still going out with you, that's a red flag to me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't shocking me at all. Them partying parents who don't know how to let the clubs go. And if you one of those people, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you got to catch it straight. It might not be you specifically, but people who still go to the club, you got to be careful, man. Them people don't know how to let that party and shit go. They still young minded. I get it. Go have a good time. But if you partying with your daughter, ain't nothing, sacred no more. It's over, And then she get in the bed with her auntie, with her people, what she say, her auntie?
Yeah, I think so. Her cousin, mama.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Like with her and her man, they laid up.
Yeah,
Like,
she's already being overly freaked out with her family members. The last thing I'm gonna let you do is go in the car with my boo, even if he is knocked out or whatever the case may be. You already being on some predator stuff. Like, no way you're about to be in the same area as my man and he unconscious. And yeah,
Right.
definitely, if it's someone is
Trying to
cheating,
make
they're
sure.
definitely keeping tabs on you. They're gonna
Right.
be like, "Oh yeah, what time you coming back? Oh, what you doing right now?" And just doing like they know they're doing something wrong, so they're trying to seem like they're not being suspicious when they actually are. You're just putting more of a warning sign on yourself if you're trying to keep tabs on me, and that's out of your norm.
Man, this is crazy, man. Who would expect their mother to sleep with their husband? That is wicked.
And he texts me and says, "Hey, babe, where you at?" And I said, "Serena's, babe." And once I say that, I'm like, "What the heck?" And my cousin was like, "I think you should go home. Like, basically, see what's up with that. It's weird." So I head back to the house. And as I'm getting close to the house, the Wyatt and I song comes on, which is the song that I happen to use for our wedding. It comes on, and love that song. So I pull up to the house, and the song is just now finishing, and I want to finish the song. So I sit in the car and I just finish the song off. And every night I look back and I wish I would not have finished that song. So I get out of the car, I walk in the house, and when I walk in the house, as soon as I open the door, my mom is coming out of my room with her hair all over the place. And she's looking down, and I looked at her and I was like, "Hey, what were you doing in my room?" And she looked at me and said, "Oh," and she looked very startled. She was like, "Oh, I was just asking Dwight if he needed some medicine." So when she says that, I'm just like, "Oh, okay." Because it was something that she would do often. Every time that he would get drunk, she would ask him if he needed any medicine. Never me, but him always. And, I didn't think anything of it. She was just always, "Oh, I love Dwight. I love him. My son in law, etc." She was just always on his. So, I go in the room, and once I walk in the room, my at the time boyfriend is laying in bed, and he's facing towards the wall, and he looks like he's passed out. So I sit in bed because I'm about to try to have with him. And then I look to the ground, and I see that my mom's shoes are on the floor next to my bed, and they're like facing towards the door, like as if she was sitting in my bed and took her shoes off. So I looked at him and I said, "What the fuck? What the freak? What's going on?" And he then turns over and was like, "What?" And I said, "Why are my mom's shoes right here?" And he looked at me like he didn't know what to say. So I instantly go to try to smell his. And I'm going to sound stupid in a lot of this story. I'm going to sound so slow. Judge me if you like. Um, Honestly, like, I was an entirely different person, and I did not know my worth. And there was just a lot going on in my life at the time. I was just a different person. I didn't understand my value. So I tried to smell it, and he immediately punches me in my face. I know I married him afterwards. Please don't judge me. So he does this, and he repeatedly punches me, and I'm screaming help for my mom. And I end up calling the cops, and my mom comes in the room, and she begs me not to press charges on him. Um, she persuades me not to press charges on him. I was really drunk, and um, my mom had a huge, like, she manipulated me for many years. So I did not know. I don't know. I don't really know what I was thinking. So I allowed her to persuade me not to press charges on him or send him to jail. And um, so he ends up leaving, and the next day he calls me and asks me to come back, and I talked to my mom about it, and she's like, "Well, if you want to, I think you should. Like, he's not really a bad person."
I just want to say this. Outside of your mom's a whore, if a person ever try to put you back towards your abuser, like they pushing you back, those people are enablers. Understand that, messy family. Like, yeah, if somebody don't want you to leave somebody who's clearly doing bad things to you or making you feel less than, that person is an enabler too. You got to get away from everybody who's like, "Oh, she's not talking to her mama today," because her mama foul. It's like, it's one thing to sleep with my man, right? But it's another thing to be like, "Oh yeah, he just beating on you. Just okay. Like, just deal with it. He didn't mean it." Like, what is going on? I would, man, what? And then that's how he handles situations. So it's like, oh, if he caught lying, it's about to get physical. It's about to get physical. That's probably like the most obvious red flag in the book. I thought people try to avoid the most obvious red flag, but that was pretty obvious. Like, oh, let me sniff you and see if you've been having sex with my mother. Don't make any, like, what? Like, okay. I'm just saying, mama need to catch a couple of those too. Like, mama was a hoe back in her day. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, we see why mom didn't want to not press charges. It's because she wants to keep getting the D, first of all. And she probably feels like the whole reason this altercation happened was because of her. Granted, if the mama never came in the room, the daughter would have never been trying to smell him, and she would have never got knocked against the head. So we all see why the mom was like feeling guilty.
The fact that she instantly thought the smell, like, who would have thought, right? If you go in a room, if you don't think nothing of your mom to be this type of way, would you assume because your mom's shoes was in your man's room facing the door, whatever the case may be, that she slept with your man? I don't think most people would. But it's something about her mama, right? The clubbing type, the party type, the let's have fun, let's get drunk and act like the day didn't happen. I can't stand a grown motherfucker like that. It's one thing to have fun and have a good time, but it's another person who just escaping their problems. And that's her mama. It's like, you got to be careful around these people. I'm telling you, she knows her mama. And she knows her mama probably been trying to put the moves on all her dudes. Women like this, not her, not the storyteller, but mothers like this think that they can get over on their own kids because they think their kids going to love them through everything. Ooh, I love to see a parent learn the hard way when it comes to stuff like this because, man, this is beyond betrayal.
Etc. etc. Like, he does so much for you and the kids and for us. So yeah. So I did take him back. I know. And I took him back, and after that, the next day, well, that day when he comes back, he goes and he apologizes to me about what happened, said he was really drunk, don't know why. And then he proceeds to go to the room and apologize to my mom for putting his hands on me. And then about 30 minutes later, she asks if he can take her to the grocery store. So I'm like, okay. So he takes her to the grocery store. And then when they come back, I do question him. I'm like, so what happened last night? Did something happen? Like, why were my mom's shoes in the room? And he was like, oh, she came in there asking me if I needed medicine. That's it. He was like, she just kept coming in here asking me if I needed medicine. And I was just like, okay, like, I guess, yeah, that makes sense. I know that she does do that. So, yeah, I'm not thinking anything because it's my mother. And we continue about our normal relationship. And no, he had never put his hands on me before that. And I don't know, I guess I was just delusional. So we went back to our normal life. And I will be posting a part 2. Okay, part 2 of me finding out my husband and my mother slept with each other. So then, like I said in the previous part, we did continue about our normal life, and things were fine. Things were normal, other than the fact that every time my mother got drunk, she would be hugging all over him and telling him how much she loved him and telling everyone how much she loved Wyatt. It was so bad that my aunt would get mad at her and say, why do you do that? Like, why are you always on his? And she would just say, I just love him. He's the best son-in-law. All these.
Fuck that. The aunt, no. I'm telling you, the auntie, no. She know her whole sister. I'm telling you, she know what she's on, right? She know that she be doing this stuff. You don't know we don't know our parents like them siblings know our parents, like our aunties and uncles. Yeah, your auntie knew. She knew the whole time, and she be trying to call your mama out on it. And your mama just, that's probably why she jumped into bed with her man. Shit, ain't nobody safe. You feel me? This is just man. And then what you mean life went back to normal? Life would never go back to normal after some shit like that. I'm not gonna lie to you. And he went on that little trip to the store. They made up their whole story together. They got their shit together. Yep. Because you should have asked him after that. You should have been like, well, why did you punch me in the face? What was that about? I was drunk. So you was drunk and mad? Like, okay. I'm not knocking her. At the end of the day, love is very blinding. So just be careful who you choose to to coexist with.
That's that liquid courage, you know. But I'm all up with moms loving their son-in-laws, but not too much. Not too much, mama. Cause we not doing that. Where's the mama's man? But what? Does she just like younger dudes? Does she just not realize that she's an adult? What is with her going with other people's men?
I'm telling you, them women who like the club all the time, they like to feel young. They want them young men.
She wants her daughter's
Want them
life.
young vibes.
Things. And me being so manipulated and delusional, I thought that that's exactly what it was. So then it got to the point to where she would go out and we wouldn't go out with her because I just would tell him I don't want to go out anymore. Like, I just want to stay at home. So I would be asleep and she would come in my room. And one time I pretended to be asleep and she came in my room and asked him to take her. And he was like, I got to ask Danielle. And then she left out of the room and I told him I heard her and why did she wait until I fell asleep to ask him that? And he was like, I don't know. She's being weird, etc., etc. So then she would ask him to come and pick her up from the bars, and I would say no. I would go and get her, and as soon as I would pick her up, she would ask me, "Where's Dwight? Why didn't Dwight come and get me?" And I wouldn't really say anything, and my aunt would get mad and say, "Why are you always worried about Dwight?" And like I said, I wouldn't think much of it. So then 3 weeks later, he proposes to me. And when he proposes to me, we come back to the house. I'm so excited to show my mom that I'm about to be a wife. She knew that it was something that I deeply wanted. I just wanted to settle down, and I was tired of just dating, just being in the dating life. I wanted a family. So, soon as I showed her, she had rage in her eyes, like pure rage. And I was confused. And I even asked my fiance, why do you think that she's acting like that? She even started to like walk through the house, just going crazy, smoking cigarettes, stressed, being really mean to me, just starting unnecessary arguments with me and telling everyone that I was crazy and that I was treating her poorly. But in reality, no. I treated my mom like a queen. She was sick. I took care of her. She needed anything. I got it for her. She needed a ride. I made sure she had a ride. I was even going to buy her a car. So the only time she would be nice to me is when she would be asking me if I was still going to buy her a car. Oh, if you're not going to give me a car, just tell me, things like that. But something in me was just telling me not to. And also my cousin was telling me, don't buy her shit. So, during that time, my then boyfriend, well, fiance, was like, I'm gonna hurry up and get us out of here. We need to move out. Like, we don't need to live here anymore. Like, she's making it really uncomfortable for us. And like, it was so bad that I would tell him, like, I don't want you walking around the house with your shirt off. And I would come home from work and he would still be walking around the house with his shirt off, things like that. And so then we move out and we get into our own apartment. And mind you, that was when the first situation happened. It was in January of 2024. And whenever he proposed to me, it was February 14th of 2024. So we move out in March, and in time goes by and my mom, she ends up getting on drugs, and I'm just stressing and crying every day to him like, I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know why this is happening. And he's just acting confused. And anyways, so then um fast forward to his birthday, which was August 11th of 2024. um we don't really have anything to do for his birthday, so we go to my mom's to go drink with her. And the entire time that we're there, he's acting irritated, and I just really don't know why. And finally, his friend calls and basically says, like, does he want to go out? So he tells me, I'm not going out without you. And I'm just like, okay. So we go back to the house, and I try to get ready, and I'm like, you know what? Like, you just go with your friend. Like, you have fun. Like, it's your birthday. Go turn up. Like, I'll stay home. And he insists. He's like, no, I'm just going to go drop him off, and then I'm going to come back. So then he leaves, and he ends up being gone for longer than the amount of time it would have taken for him to actually just drop his friend off. So I start to call him, and his phone is going straight to voicemail. He's not answering. So then he ends up coming home, and I have the door locked. And he climbs through the balcony and he comes in and he goes off on me and tells me I'm crazy. Why am I locking him out of the house? And he takes my iPad and accuses me of cheating on him. And he leaves with my iPad. So I then go to his grandmother's and I'm like, where is he at? He needs to give me my iPad. Um, he shouldn't be doing these things, etc., etc. If he doesn't bring it, then I'm gonna call the police. He ends up going to jail that night, and I go to go visit him the next day. Mind you, guys, give me grace. I've learned my lesson. I did a lot of stupid things in this relationship. So I go to go visit him, and I ask him, like, what happened? Like, where were you at? What were you doing? And he was like, oh, I was at my friend's house. Said friend that he went out with. I was just venting to him and his girlfriend, and I was like, what were you venting about? Like, I feel like it has something to do with me. And he was like, no, it has nothing to do with you. It was nothing. It was nothing. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to go out tonight because I know that that friend and his girlfriend are always at the club. So I was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to ask her what you were over there talking about. And he was like, no, no, don't do that. Just begging me not to do it. So I'm like, no, something is telling me, my intuition is telling me that I need to find out. I need to get to the bottom of this. So I get off of the visit and I go to my mom's and I'm telling her, and she's like, no, I don't think you should go. I think you're overthinking it. I don't think there's anything. I don't think he would do anything to you. He wouldn't do anything to you. He wouldn't hurt you. Like, I think you're doing too much. I think you're being crazy. And I was like, I'm not stupid. And mind you, the whole time he's calling me and begging me not to go, telling me he's going to leave me if I go to the club. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to find out. So then me and this girl, we end up going to the club and I end up seeing his friend's girlfriend. And I ask her, and she immediately gets aggressive and tells me, don't be coming up asking me about that nigga. I don't have nothing to do with that. And like basically acting as if she wanted to fight. So then I tell her, like, we can do that. Mind you, I was a whole different person. So it sounds funny coming out of my mouth now, but I was just like, we can do that. So I end up getting kicked out of the club, and I go outside and I'm waiting for her to come out. And the girl that I came with ends up coming out there and she's like, oh, there she goes. And the girl is in the corner crying. Me, I am a girl's girl. I don't think I really am anymore, but at the time I was a girl's girl. So I see her crying and I go up to her and I'm like, hey, this is the friend's girlfriend. I'm like, hey, what's wrong? Like, why are you crying? And she was like, my friends left me and my boyfriend left me. I'm not going to be using names. My boyfriend left me and I don't have a ride to my car. And I was like, you know what? Even though you just did all that, I'm going to give you a ride to your car. So she gets in my car and I'm taking her to her car. And as I'm taking to her car, I'm asking her, like, what happened? And the night when my boyfriend went over there. And she's like, oh, well, my fiance. She's like, oh, I can't tell you. I promised them I would never tell anybody. And I was like, I don't see why you're showing loyalty to these niggas. I was like, the last time that me and them went out, your boyfriend was with so many different girls. Why are you showing loyalty to him? Like, what happened? And I'll proceed with the part three of how I found out my husband and my mother slept with each other. So, like I was saying before, I was like, just tell me. I told his friend's girlfriend, just tell me, like, what was the conversation? And she was like, okay. She was like, you just shouldn't be with him. And I was like, why? And she was like, he's not a good person. And I said, why? And she said, well, he slept with someone really close to you. And I was like, who? And she was like, someone really close to you. And I said, my cousin? And she was like, and mind you, I only said my cousin not because I thought that she would do something like that, but just because she was more our age. And she was like, no, someone closer. My heart immediately dropped because the first thought that came to my mind was the night when I walked in and she was coming out of my room. So, um, I said, my mom? And the girl was like, yes. So, mind you, I instantly get mad, not only at my mom and Dwight and the friend, but at the girlfriend, because that is something serious. Why is that not something that you would want to share with another woman? Because, and mind you, I was just going based off of how I would have handled the situation.
I'm calling Cap because when you said you saw her dude in the club with multiple women, you ain't tell her until that day. So let's not pull that little as a woman card. I'm listening. You didn't do it for her. I wouldn't do it for you. It's called mind of your business. Unless we're in the
Yeah.
military and I'm your sergeant, I'm gonna mind my damn business.
Yeah, she's trying to say what she would do if she was in a situation, knowing she's being a hypocrite. There's no telling how someone's gonna react. They're gonna probably be like, "Why you in my business?" Saying about, "Oh, you're lying." Like, no
Yeah.
telling what the other person's gonna say. You might catch the stray.
Yeah, we're not friends. Like it'd be different if me and you were close friends and stuff like that. But if you want me to just come to you as a woman who I don't know, we not cordial like that. Like no, I'm not telling you either.
So it may not have been right for me to get upset with her. Some may believe that it was right. I don't really care. This is how my story went. This is what happened. So I got upset and I told her to get the F out of my car. It shouldn't have taken all of that for her to tell me. So she gets out of my car. And when she gets out of my car, I guess she left her phone in my car. So I immediately go to my mom's house and I walk in and I ask her, "You slept with my man?" And she looked guilty. So I jump up on the table and she's yelling at me, telling me I'm crazy. And I jump up on the table and I go and I just start binking her. Needless to say, I ain't gonna go more into details, but I just start binking her. And she proceeds, my cousin, actually, one of my cousins, she ends up trying to call the police on me. And my friend that I was with, my friend that I was with told her not to do that. I'm not going to incriminate anyone. She tells her not to do that. And I'm proceeding to bing my mom. And one of my cousin's boyfriends ends up pulling me off of her and was like, "Hey, I don't want you to go to jail. Like, just go ahead and go home. You're drunk. Like, just figure this out tomorrow." So then we get in the car and we end up driving. I tell my friend to drive me to, because I couldn't drive because I was so drunk. So I tell my friend to drive me to my aunt's house because I wanted to tell her about what I had just heard. So we go to my aunt's house, and as we're there, I'm talking to her and telling her what happened. And um, my fiance's friend ends up walking up. I guess he tracked the girl's phone that was in my car, his girlfriend's. So he walks up and he's like, "Man, give her her phone." And I was like, it's in my car. Go get it." So then, I'm not even worried about them anymore because I'm just like really baffled about the information that I was just told. Hurt, confused. I didn't know what was happening. So she goes and she gets her phone. And after that, his friend, let's call him Isaac. We'll call him Isaac. Um, he ends up telling me, asking me what happened, like what's wrong, what's going on. And as I'm about to tell him, the only words I get out is, "Your girlfriend just told me that." And then, bink, I feel somebody punch me in my face and I fall to the ground. The girl we end up fighting. It's his girlfriend who hit me. We end up fighting and um, I end up whooping her. It was a really fast fight, but yeah. And so immediately I'm like, I don't have time for this. Like, you just told me this and you think I want to fight you? So I start walking to my car. And once I get into my car, Isaac comes to my car. I guess when he got his girlfriend's phone, he put his phone on my charger and he's grabbing his phone. And I was like, "Bro, like, I just want to talk. Like, what's up?" So he gets in my car and I drive off and I'm about to ask him, like, I'm just like, I'm crying and I'm like, "I just want to know, like, what happened." And he's like, what did she tell you? And as I'm about to tell him, the girlfriend is in her car and and let's call her Audrey. Actually, her name is Aubrey. I don't care to tell her name. So she's like trying to run into the back of my car, like hit my car. So then I pull over onto a roundabout and I get out of the car and I'm just like, what's up, bitch? Like, I'm on that. Like, let's fight. So we fight about 3 rounds, tear her up all 3 times. And she ends up getting in the car in the passenger seat. She's all beat up and she's yelling and calling me names and just treating me like ish, knowing the information she just gave me that I'm already hurting and saying, that's why you're effed your mom, etc., etc. And I get in the car and I just start binking her again. And they end up leaving and I go home and I write my fiance who was in jail at the time and I'm like, what happened? And he ends up getting out the next day and we meet up at the store and he's like, okay, I'm going to tell you what happened, but we did not sleep together. Your mom sexually assaulted me. And he tells me that basically whenever I left that she kept coming in the room asking him if he needed medicine and that while we were on our way to drop them off at the house after the bar in January, and this was January 21st of 2024, that as they were in the back seat, when I saw her whispering in his ear that she was asking him, do you want to? And she asked him that multiple times. And that whenever I dropped him off, that she kept going in the room asking him to. And then she came in and grabbed his and started kissing his neck and telling him, I can please you. I can do whatever you want to make you happy. And that he pushed her off. And that when he pushed her off was whenever I walked in the house. That was it. So then I end up contacting my mother and trying to get the information out of her. And
I'm just real confused on. So all that energy when he was bopping you in the head, when you was trying to sniff on him, he ain't think to hit your mama with a stiff one.
Right.
I'm just real confused. And then he's continuously still taking her to the store, picking her up when she's intoxicated. Is it putting two and two together? I'm just confused here.
Mind you, he told the girlfriend, his friend's girlfriend, that he slept with the mom. He didn't say, "Oh, she took advantage of me" or nothing like that. She said she slept with her. I think that's exactly what happened. Like, mom, man, her mom is sick. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is crazy, man. I can't get off of this.
she's hanging up in my face. She's threatening to me. And sorry, this is a little. And she's just accusing me of being crazy. And so then I also tried. So he and I both go over there. He's like, take me over there. I'll make her tell you the truth about what happened. So we go over there. And when we go over there, he's yelling, April, tell her what happened. Tell her what you did to me. And she's at the door and she's like, you little shh. And I'm like, tell me what happened. I have y'all both right here. Y'all both tell me what happened. And she just calls the cops. So we leave. And obviously, with that reaction from her, I believed him because she wouldn't give me anything. And I know it may have been very gullible of me. No, it was very gullible of me. But like I said, I was in a whole delusional world. So he and I proceeded our relationship, and I go to my grandmother's and I'm trying to like talk to her about it, and she's calling me crazy too, basically calling me delusional, saying you're bipolar, like you're wrong, you shouldn't have done that, etc., etc. Everybody's making me feel crazy. So the only person I have to fall back on is this man and his word. So for that next year, he manipulates me and makes me feel like she sexually assaulted him. And this is the only story that I have to rely on. I will be back for the fourth part, I believe. Part 4 of how I found out that my mother and my husband slept together. So for the next 2 years, well, the next year, we spend it, and he is like overcompensating for something he did wrong, but I'm not realizing he's spoiling me. He's treating me well. Um, there's literally no issues. He becomes the perfect man. Literally, like he had everyone thinking that he was such a good man. Um, and I end up starting to build a life with Christ. And I start going to church, and we start getting involved with people who are really involved with the church and really close with a preacher. And life just seems great, peaceful. I thought that I rid myself of my toxic family and that I was in a better situation because he was making me happy and he was doing everything that a good man should do, right? So I end up all for that year, I'm depressed. I'm in bed. I'm crying about my mother. And he basically tells me, like, you don't have to work. Like, you stay home and I don't care how long it takes, just heal. So I do that. And so then finally I get to a point to where I'm just like, the story doesn't add up. Like, and I'm constantly having him repeat the story to me. And he's constantly telling me over and over the same story. And he ends up telling me, like, we need to just hurry up and get married. And I'm on the same page. Like, I'm like, yeah, like, I'm thankful that you removed me from that. Like, she's been such a toxic person in my life. I'm just glad she's removed, and I'm just ready for us to start our new life. So we get married, and everything is great. And so we got married in May of 2025, May 31st of 2025. And basically, during that time, I'm constantly still asking him questions about that night. And he's telling me, you're never going to get over it. Why do you keep doing that? Like, you're just driving me crazy. I'm not happy with this, etc., etc. You're crazy, calling me names, calling me trash, telling me that basically I'm of lower value. And like I said, during this time, I am getting closer to God. I'm in my Bible, and I was really, really big at the time. So I also started to go to the gym, go on walks, and just start to focus on me pouring into myself. And one day I tell him, I'm like, hey, like, there's this Jesus March in Houston. I really, like, I have to go. Like, I want to go. So he ends up telling me, like, okay, like, I'm going to make sure you go. And I end up going to the Jesus March. And when I go to the Jesus March, it was amazing, guys. Like, oh my gosh, it was everything. There were thousands of people there. I was surrounded with people who were just of God, and just like, it was just amazing, just full of praise and just worshiping. It was so great. So as I'm there, there's this woman there, and if she sees this video, please comment. I don't know her name, but there was this woman there, and every time I turned around, she was next to me speaking in tongue. And she I couldn't understand anything she was saying. Obviously, she was speaking in tongue. But then towards the end of the night, and mind you, there's thousands of people there. So for me to continuously be next to her, it was crazy. So towards the end of the night, I got baptized. And afterwards, she's standing beside me, and I hear her talking in tongue. But then I start to hear my name. So I turn to her and I'm like, hey, are you saying my name? And she was like, are you Danielle? And I was like, yes. And she was like, I've been looking for you all day. And I was like, what? And she was like, God told me to tell you that everything is about to seem like it's falling apart, but trust God and it's all falling into place. Keep going. So she says that, and we end up just saying a prayer together. And as I'm leaving, I hear God tell me, like, give me permission to leave my husband. And my husband knew that I felt strongly on, like, not leaving a marriage, like, especially, like, just because, like, of just having marital problems. Like I didn't believe in that. So I ended up calling him and I'm like, hey, like God just told me that like we're not gonna be together forever. Like, and he just starts going crazy, calling me names, telling me I had to have went out there for something else. And who am I talking to? Who's in my head? And I'm just like, I'm talking to God. That's it. So after this, he ends up like every day accusing me of cheating, leaving, starting to treat me poorly, calling me names. And every time he's doing this, like I'm locking him out of the house because, like, boy, please, like, you're not going to be bringing this environment around me and my kids because of what? So one morning, I'm like talking to him about how he's making me feel and how he's making me feel less than, and I'm his wife, like he should be treating me better. And he ends up going outside, and I tell him, like, you need to have somebody pick you up and take you to work because, like, I just can't be around you right now. So he ends up calling someone, and mind you, it ended up being his boss, who we also leased from, who was also our pastor, who also married us. And he basically tells him that, like, I'm going crazy, that I've been treating him poorly since the day that we got married. I just changed so much on him. So he was advised to leave me, knowing that I was a stay-at-home wife, and he was our sole provider. So he leaves, and then 3 days later, I end up, and mind you, I'm in a delusion. So I'm begging him to come back. Like, I need you. I don't have anyone else. Like, why are you doing this to us? Like, if we're going to separate, can we do this the right way? Like, let me at least get a job and get back to a better place before we do this. So he's like, no, like, we're going to work it out, etc., etc. So he comes back and he's still treating me poorly. And he ends up losing his job because they end up catching him stealing. And mind you, they caught him stealing the day that I went to Houston. He put gas into a black SUV. So they assumed it was mine because I had a black Jeep. But I was like, no, I was in Houston. There's no way he was putting gas in my car. But whatever. I don't really care if he was cheating on me. I don't care. So, after that, what happens? We end up having to move into another place, and it's out of town from where we live. And we get a house, and we're there, and he just is still treating me poorly. And I'm just, like asking him, like, what is the problem? Like, what happened to my husband? Why have you changed so much? I'm still in delusion. And I'm thinking that he's changing into a different person, but really he was just showing his true colors. So,
Yep, that's typically what happens. That's what happens once the love bombing stage is over and the narcissist has gotten what they wanted. Now, I don't know why he wanted to drag her along with his misery so bad. Must have been something good about her because this man literally just wanted to trap her for some reason. And the worst thing you can do in these type of situations is go, if you had a job, if you had like some type of life before you got married, you should keep that same life. I don't understand why people change so much when they get married. It's like, oh, now we married, you can quit your job, you can focus on me. Like, you've never been a leader ever. We just got married and now you just husband and you just on this pedal. Y'all gotta stop making everybody your husbands. For real. Because everybody is not every man comes in with the same intentions. Not every man looks at themselves as a provider in that, it's our responsibility to take care of everything that's around us. Like, what God told us to do. We gotta work the lands of the earth. That's what we do. We gotta labor. But our women, yeah, if they do stay home, then they should be comfortably at home. They shouldn't be at home, you know, shaking a pan like they panhandling or something and shit asking you for stuff every 5 seconds. They should be just because a woman is at home watching a kid does not mean a woman has to be at home broke. You know what I'm saying? Like watching a kid, unless you rich and you could just give your woman a card and tell her like, here, swipe it however you want to, pay the bills, manage the bills, whatever the case may be. She should be doing something, not just at home doing nothing. And that's where a lot of men want you to be at home doing nothing, waiting for me to come home or waiting for the man to come home and having food ready. You're just a slave. Let's just be real. They treat them like just like indentured servants. Like, you're just here, and I'm gonna pay for you to survive, as if that's not the damn requirement. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. You just gotta be careful with who you date. You shouldn't have to change your circle. And then, the situation with her mom, that should have been you should have walked away from him right then and there. Not just your mama, but you should have walked away from him because he's pathetic. I don't care what nobody say. No woman is not about to force her way onto me. What the fuck? Like, oh, I couldn't stop her. What man can't stop a woman? No offense. But what man can't stop a woman? I seen a little man knock a big woman out. I mean, a big woman. She was whooping on, but all it took was one, bah, and she was gone. She was still with us, but she was gone. You know what I'm saying? So I know for a fact you can't tell me the same way you put your hands on her, you could have put your hands on her mama. No offense, I'm not saying go out there and be putting your hands on women. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying if you're gonna do it to her, why not do it to her if she's SAing you? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? It just doesn't make sense to me.
If your spouse is the sole provider, do not tell them you want a divorce or that you want to leave and you don't have nowhere else to go.
That's a good one too.
So it's like, I don't know what she expected from that when she called him and said that. And now he's talking to the preacher and the preacher telling him to leave her. And now she's like, wait, hold on. You're the one providing for me. Can we work this out? Can we do this the right way? Why would you tell him that if you didn't have a plan? It's like you wanted him to beg to be with you.
Yeah.
Just find a exit plan before you tell somebody that you're done with them and they're providing everything in your life.
99% of life is surviving at this point. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know how to survive in this world. I get what she means. It's like you can't just show your hand like that if you ain't got no backups. You should have literally tried to get a home job, something. Just if you're in a situation like this and you're feeling stuck, the first thing you should be doing is trying to get yourself back on your feet. You know what I'm saying? Start thinking of ways to get out of this situation because sometimes you may think that you're stuck, but you're really not stuck. You can get out of that situation. You just gotta start strategically planning. And when he lost his job, I'm like, ooh, won't God do it? You know what I'm saying? Kind of humbled him quick. You know what I'm saying? Now you can go kind of get a job if you wanted to because he needs the finances. But the tables always turn. It's just that I don't be having the patience if I'm in a situation like this to, wait for that table to turn. I'm trying to get that damn thing turning myself.
I'm taking him to his new job. And as I'm taking him, he just starts crashing out, calling me names, treating me poorly. And we're getting into arguments. And he ends up getting out of the car and like running off. And I'm like looking for him. And I end up getting out of my car to look for him. And he ends up jumping in my driver's seat and trying to take off in my vehicle. And when he does this, I end up like crying and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? Why is this happening? Like, you're going crazy. Like, you need help. You really, really need help. So I convinced him to let me take him to MHMR, which is a mental health facility, I guess. Like, they help with counseling and things. So when he gets there, he ends up telling them that he wants to kill himself. I mean, unalive himself. Part 5 of how I found out my husband and my mother slept together. So, like I said in the previous part, I take him to get mental health services, and he tells them that he wants to unalive himself. So, they immediately admit him into a mental facility. And he ends up going and he's gone for about a week. And during that time, I get in contact with his grandmother, which we had also went no contact with for that past year because she was very toxic towards me. She didn't like me because I'm this color. I know I'm light skinned, but because I'm not Caucasian. And she said she didn't trust me. So I ended up calling her, getting in contact with her just to let her know, like, hey, like, he's really struggling mentally, like, because at this point, like, I'm thinking that he is the person going through so much. So, we get back in contact with her. He gets out of the hospital, and when he gets out, he's treating me poorly, very, very poorly still. So I end up telling him, like, hey, one morning, I'm like, we're arguing, and he ends up choking me. So I pick up a brick and I don't throw it at him. I throw it past him just to scare him because he was choking me. And he ends up I end up going to work, and I only had like a 4-hour shift that day. So I come back home from work and he's gone. I'm looking for him. I cannot find him. I get in contact with his grandmother. She's like, oh, I don't know where he is. I haven't heard from him, but like her story is not aligning. And I'm like, you know where he is. Like, you're lying. So she ends up telling me, oh, he actually did admit himself into a mental facility. And he told me to tell you that he just needs time. So I'm like, okay. So then a week passes and I hear nothing from him. No phone call, no nothing. And I'm just confused. So I start going to her house and I'm knocking and I'm asking her like to tell me like what's going on. And she's like, I don't have to communicate anything with you. And I'm like, he's literally my husband. Like, I should know what's going on. And she's like, no, I'm not going to tell you. I don't have to tell you anything. And like she ends up calling the cops on me, and it's not like I'm going there acting crazy. I have video recordings of those days as well. I have proof of everything. So she calls the cops and basically accuses me of being crazy. And I'm telling her, like, look, like, we're about to lose our house. He is the only help that we have. Like, I need to know. I need him to at least call me to try to help me figure this out. And she's like, why does he need to help you? And I'm like, because that's my husband. And anyway, so uh he ends up being in the mental facility for 3 weeks. And he ends up getting out and not getting in contact with me. The only reason why I found out he was out was because he watched my Instagram story from a new Instagram. And when I saw it, I just immediately blocked it because I was just like, what the heck? Like, you cannot do that. So then he ends up calling me the next day and accusing me of being the reason why he admitted himself into the hospital because I abused him. And uh, then we end up getting back together. And when we get back together, I ask him, what were you doing there? Like, why were you not calling me? And he admits to me that he had gotten in a relationship with a girl there while he was there. And he gives me the password to his Instagram, and I see all of the messages, and he's calling her mamas, telling her he can't wait to get out of her. And they're on FaceTime. She's sending him nudes. And this is all the day that he got out of the mental facility. And mind you, he didn't contact me until the day after. So I end up responding to the girl, trying to ask her like what happened. And she's telling me that I'm crazy and that I'm just scared that he's going to get a mind of his own and leave me and my kids one day. And basically like that's that I treat his family like shit. And basically everything that he did to me, he went in there telling her that I was doing to him. And so like a dummy, I stay with him. And uh we end up getting a place. And mind you, whenever he gets the place, the apartment for us. And when he gets the apartment, he I end up finding out that how he got the apartment was he stole his grandmother's ring and he pawned it. So the way I find that out is because the grandmother contacts him about it, and basically she's accusing me of being the reason why he did that. And I'm just like, he's a grown man, like he did that on his own. So he ends up leaving back to the mental facility again. And based off of me questioning him about the situation with the girl in the mental facility. And right before he leaves, he tells me, see, you're never going to get over this stuff with your mom. And I was like, what? I don't even bring that stuff up anymore. What are you talking about? So as he's in the mental facility.
So, just in case y'all not keeping up with this man went to the mental facility, right? And met a woman that was also a patient at the mental facility and is forming a relationship. This man is crazy. Yep, something's wrong with him. Because if you go into a mental facility and meeting somebody in there with mental health issues, boy, you asking for it. You asking for it. If you play this game with the girl in there, oh my goodness. Lord have mercy. And I'm not saying people with mental health issues are bad people. It's just they going through mental warfare. All right, we all deal with mental health issues at times in our life, and we understand how low it can get. But I'm not saying, please don't think when I say this next part that I'm trying to say it in a malicious way. But he is using this mental health thing as an excuse. If y'all don't see that by now, that's what I'm looking at it as. I stole my grandma's ring. Let me go back to the mental health facility. I cheated on my woman at the mental health facility and told her she found out. Let me go back to the mental health facility. It's like a man to me who keeps going back to prison. It's like you saying that is our fault and the whole time you got a boyfriend in there. You know what I'm saying? You just missed your hubby. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel like in this situation. Like you just using this as an excuse to go back to either see that woman or to make it as an excuse of, oh, don't take me serious. I'm so sorry. Like I have problems. Like that's not cool, man. People like that need to be held accountable, man. You need to just keep it straightforward with them. Like I don't give a damn about what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? You got to be real with him because every time he sit down with her, he can pity talk her. That's what she losing at. She keeps getting that, oh, babe, I'm sorry. I was in a bad state. He keep being sad and fragile. Stop dating men this damn weak. This is a weak ass man. I don't know men like this. Y'all find a lot of them though. You know, these are beta males or something. I don't know. I don't really care for alpha beta talk, but I'm just saying these dudes are real weak type of men. You cry too fucking much. You complain too much. You know, it's time to stand up and take ownership at times. And like, that's the type of man who just don't. He like a little boy at heart. Like she took advantage of me. Get your weak ass up. This don't make no sense.
I think this man is just a serial cheater. He just
Eh,
can't help it. You're supposed to be in the
wuss.
facility getting better, but instead you're looking for your next girlfriend.
Ugh.
And then I get, she's probably with him and keep forgiving him because, like she said, he's a sole provider. She got kids.
How?
She's trying to, she's just trying to survive and, take care of her children. So I get it. But if he's putting his hands on you, there are facilities that will take you and your children in because you're being abused.
Right.
So just because you think there's no way out and you don't have no family, there are programs out there for you.
And are these his children or just your children? Like, I don't know. It just seemed like, where were these kids been at this whole time? Another story. Another topic. I'm on her side, so I don't want to get too much on that part.
Again, I'm still praying for him. I'm praying for him every single day. And my mom ends up writing me out of nowhere. This is December the 4th. She ends up writing me out of nowhere with this long apology. And I'm just like, what are you apologizing for? And she's like, for everything I've put you through in life. So I end up telling her to call me. And she was like, okay, give me some time. So I'm journaling and I'm writing a prayer out for my husband, just begging God, like, I know that they say, like, if something isn't for you, like, to let it go. But I do believe that my husband can come back to you, Lord. Like, bring him back to you, Lord. Bring my husband back to me. I want the person that I fell in love with. And as I'm writing this out in my journal, my mother ends up calling me. And that's where the confession comes in. She tells me what happened, and he ends up contacting me and telling me that he's stuck in Temple because when he admitted himself into the mental facility, he told them that we were divorced and that he was homeless and had nowhere to go. So they immediately sent him to a shelter in Temple after he was released from the hospital. So no one is answering his calls. No one's trying to help him come back. So I'm the only one answering, and I end up telling him, like, I'm not going to help you. I know everything. You need to tell me what happened. Tell me the truth. And he's like, what? And he starts mentioning different girls. And I'm like, dang, how many times did you cheat on me? Because no, that's not what I'm talking about. You need to think deeper. And so he's like, hold on. Is this about your mom? And I was like, yeah. And he said, wait, babe, I'm your husband. You believe other people over me? You think that I would do that? And I tell him, the sitch is over with. I know what happened. I know everything. You need to tell me the truth now. So then that's where his confession comes in. And I end up telling him, look, I'm going to help you get down here. You and I are going to coincide, and we're both going to separate. I cannot do this anymore. I cannot continue this relationship. Had I known this from the beginning, I would have never married you. Part 6 of how I found out my husband and my mother slept with each other. So, like I said, I told him, like, I would have never married you, but you know what? Like, I am still a good person at heart. I'm going to help you get down here, and we're going to separate from that point. So he agrees and says, you know what? Like, that's the least I can do. I respect you. I'm so sorry that I put you through this. We don't have to sleep in the same beds together. Like, I'm going to respect you and your kids. So he comes back. And when he comes back, he tries to sleep with me. And I tell him, no, I just can't do it. It sickens me that I have been sleeping with you this entire time after you've already been inside of my mother. And you think that I'm going to sleep with you after knowing that it happened? He gets mad and he starts to tell me that I'm equal to my mother, that I'm trash just like my mom. Basically, just like that I'm trash. And so I lock myself inside the restroom. And the entire time he's outside of the restroom calling me childish, telling me I need to be an adult and talk to him because he's my husband. And I'm not saying anything. I'm just quiet and I'm just praying to God. And he ends up telling me I'm about to burn this bee down and begins to try to set the door on. And so I immediately start to beg him and ask him to please stop, please stop. And he eventually stops. And then after that, mind you, this is Christmas Eve. So Christmas morning, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I go downstairs and I ask him, can you please leave? It's Christmas. I don't want you to ruin Christmas for my kids. So he gets up and he asks me, so are you leaving me for real? And I said, yes, I am. I cannot continue this relationship. He then gets mad and says, everybody uses me. Everybody just uses me. And so I start to bring up people that I know cared about him. And one of his friends, his name is Ricky. I said, what about Ricky? He's a good friend. And he said, no, he's using me. And I said, for what? And he looked at me with black eyes and said, for you. And I was like, oh, so that's the story you're going to tell people now, that I mess with your friend? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, whatever you have to do to make yourself feel better about the things that you've put me through, do it. I don't care. I'm still leaving you. So he looks at me again and says, so you're leaving me for real? And I say, yes. He snatches my phone, puts it in his pocket because he knows I record everything, puts it in his pocket, immediately wraps his hands both. And as he's doing so, I'm reaching, trying to get him off of me, but he's like 6'2", 6'3", so he's really tall with really long arms, and I'm only 5 foot, so it's really hard for me to reach him and like try to get him off of me. And so I eventually grab his shirt, and his shirt starts to rip. So with one hand, he lets go, gets his shirt, rips it entirely, ravels it up, puts it around, and starts to tighten it, and is trying to and telling me, you told me till death. So, and I'm getting scared and I'm just trying to fight for my life. And he starts to drag me through the living room by the shirt with the shirt wrapped around. And he puts on one of his boots and starts to try to stomp me out in my face. But I'm moving so much that he's missing my face. And so I felt myself losing conscience. So the first thing I thought was, what are you doing? Kick him in his nuts. So I kicked him in his nuts as hard as I could, and he flew back, and he was on the ground holding on his balls saying, oh. And I got up and I grabbed his other boot and I just started to hit him. And I'm telling him, get the F out, get the F out. But I can barely even say these words because I can hardly breathe because I was literally about to lose consciousness. So, he ends up getting up, and when he gets up, he snatches his other boot from me and he puts on his jacket. He doesn't have a shirt on. He just puts on his jacket and he's like getting ready to leave. And I pick up his belt and in which it had like a big Western like buckle on it. And I start to hit him with it and I'm telling him, get the F out, get the F out. And then so he snatches the belt from me. And then he's starting to put it on, and I'm like, give me my phone. So he throws me my phone and then pushes me as hard as he can because he knew I started dialing 911. And as I'm dialing 911, he snatches the phone, hangs it up, and he gives it back to me, and then he leaves on a bike. So then I call the police and I press charges. And from that, because my kids were there, I received a CPS case. Not because of anything I did, but because what he did to me while they were in the home. And he ends up the cops end up looking for him that night and that morning. And that after a few hours, he ends up writing me on Instagram and calling me from a text app number saying, you called the laws on me. Are you serious? You had me running from the laws all night. Why did you do that? And basically I took from that he thought that I wasn't going to press charges. 1, that I wasn't actually going to leave him alone. 2, and 3, that I would just take him back. So I knew, like, absolutely not. So I did not respond to his text messages. I did not respond to his phone calls. I just was sending it all to the police. So he ends up going missing for a month. So that was December 25th. And on January 25th, before January 25th, I end up getting his form of contact from someone close to him. And I end up providing it to the detective and also the CPS agent because for some reason they wanted to talk to him. So on January 25th, a month after it happened, they get in contact with him and he tells them that he never did any of that. The marks on my neck had to have came from me, that I did it to myself, and shows them that he has marks from whenever I was hitting him with the belt. And said that I have been physically abusing him for the past 3 years. And he also tells the CPS agent that I'm not a good mother, that I'm I'm always drunk, and that I physically abuse him and my kids, which is where I say he tried to get my kids taken away. But the Lord knows, the Lord sees all. So thank you, God. My CPS case actually got closed a couple of days ago. It was actually the beginning of this week. She spoke with family members and also with my children's teachers, and everyone had nothing but great things to say about me because I am a wonderful mother. And I did used to drink a lot, but I actually quit drinking in March of last year. Don't get me wrong, every now and then I do have a drink or two, but I don't drink. I just don't. I don't. So, yeah, and right now the detective is actually working on a case for him, and hopefully I will get my justice soon. So that's the end of that. I don't really know how to end this, but thank you guys for all of the support, all of your kind words. I know that this is crazy, and I know that in a lot of this, y'all are gonna call me names, stupid, dumb, but I learned my lesson. I removed myself from his life, and I am moving forward. This is going to be the 2nd month of me being free from him, and trust me when I say it is never something that I am willing to go back to. God has been so good to me throughout this entire process, and I learned so much from this, so much. And I hope you guys can just understand that things like this do happen in real life. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, but that's the end.
Well, listen. At the end of the day, at least she got. And first of all, I want to apologize. I know y'all saw us laughing in the background when she was getting serious. I was literally having. We was having some stuff going. It was some stuff going on in the background. All right, it had nothing to do with the video. We're not laughing at her. Obviously, this is a sad situation, and I'm just happy that she made it out of it. Because a lot of women in these type of situations don't make it out of it. And yeah, I know we can all sit here and judge and be like, oh, it was a lot of red flags. From the beginning. I mean, it was just clear as day that this man was a cheater and that he was not good for you. But at the end of the day, who are we? You got to take the time to know people and get to know people and give them chances. Ain't that what they say in this world? You got to give people a chance. But certain people just got really good discernment, and I think that's why a lot of them are giving her a hard time about the decision she's made, because a lot of us just got a lot of good, some good discernment. Sometimes you do slip up and meet people and you think they are somebody who they not, and they end up fooling you eventually. But if you got good discernment, you catch it in the beginning. You don't deal with this for years and then find out like, oh, you've been knew he was a cheater because of the way he was acting when your mom did what she did, and then finding out the mom situation was, that could have saved you years of pain and agony. But I get it, at the end of the day, you just never know when you are in a situation where you depend on a man or you depend on your partner 100% and you're trapped. So it's like, yeah, I guess you're going to deal with stuff that you don't normally want to deal with because you need this person to survive. And I'm sorry that the person you needed to survive was going through so much mentally. And a little boy at that. Y'all gotta watch who you put your trust into. If he's not a leader, then like he's living with you and your mama. I'm not marrying nobody who's living with me. And I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like a woman shouldn't marry somebody who's living with your mama. Y'all need to get y'all own stuff. Y'all was married before y'all even had your own shit. You should have had your own stuff and got your own things. I don't know. That's just me personally. I feel like a man should have his life together first before he gets married, because then you will get a better man. If not, you're gonna be kind of struggling with this man, and a struggling man ain't always a good, nice, happy to be around type of man, because even the weakest men like him, it's in the man. I'm not explaining. It's a man thing. Like if you're not where you need to be, it's hard to be happy in life. Not all men are like this, but a lot of them are. Especially if they come from poverty. But that's all I really got to say. I don't want to talk too much on this topic right here. At the end of the day, she did what she had to do, and at least she still got her children, and she got her life back at the end of the day. Hopefully, you can stick with this. Hope we don't hear no story time about y'all being back together, because this is like literally fresh.
Yeah, I get it. Love is blind. Like she said, she had kids. So it's kind of like when you're in a situation when you're a single mom and their own fathers aren't choosing you and your children, and here comes this man, no kids, and he's choosing you guys and deciding, I'm going to put a ring on your mom's finger. I'm going to get you out of your mom's house. I'm going to provide for you guys. You don't have to work. You ain't got to worry about nothing. So all you want to see is that image of him. You don't want to see this image of him cheating with your mom, cheating with other girls, because look at all the good he's doing for you and providing for you. So I don't fault her at all. It's rough being a single mom, but I'm glad you got out of it and that you realized your worth and that there are better men out there. Trust, there is plenty of fish in the sea. So just because this marriage was ruined, and I know you're young, don't lose hope in finding love in the future and get married again, because what one man won't do, another will.
What do you guys think about this story time, Messy family? If you made it all the way to the end, we appreciate you all. Hope you all been answering all the quizzes and appreciating the quizzes in the video. We will keep dropping quizzes throughout the videos to keep you guys engaged and see who's listening. Because y'all always trying to say, I'm not listening. Oh, yeah, we about to see who listening then. Yeah, a lot of y'all be failing these quizzes, and they be easy quizzes. Oh, they going to start getting harder, though. You're going to have to watch these videos eventually. But what do you all think? If you all want to follow this creator, you already know what to do. Check out the description box below, and you will see her credited there. And that's all we got. We will see you all in the next story time. Peace out.